Before we get any further into this video, let's get a couple of things out of the way. First, if you want to listen to this song or watch this video in whole without my commentary, then go do that. This is not the place for that. This is a reaction and analysis video. We're here for a conversation, not for a watch party. I'm going to be stopping this video, talking over certain parts, and replaying certain parts, so get used to it. Second, my analysis is my opinion. My opinion comes from a place of knowledge. I have over 30 years of musical training and experience, 20 years as a professional musician and producer, and almost 10 years as a video producer and director. I know what I'm talking about. All that being said, we will be discussing the performance of the song by the musicians, production of the song by the producer, and production of the video, should that apply, by the director and anyone else involved. Now, I return you to your regularly scheduled reaction video. Thanks, nerds. Hello, nerds. We are reacting right now. Let's switch over to this. Hey. We are reacting, and I'm going to move the camera. And we're going to go full screen. We're reacting to Meshuggah. The Abysmal Eye is a track that has been very difficult for me to avoid, honestly. So that's kind of the reason why we're knocking these out. We're going to do Meshuggah, we're going to do Orville Peck's new one, and then we're going to do some Lorna Shore, not Into the Hellfire, because I have heard that one by now, but And I Return to Darkness, I believe is the name of the track. So let's get into Meshuggah. I'm not going to play the intro here on stream, but if you're watching in post, you just saw the intro, so you know that, this is a thing that I do. I make music, and I feel like I know enough to contribute to the conversation, so let's contribute to the conversation. All right, so expectations for the Abysmal Eye. I do expect that it's going to be a Meshuggah track. Like, what else can I say about Meshuggah? It's going to be very involved. We're going to have to probably stop quite a few times and talk about the way they layer, the way they produce, because a very extreme sound like Meshuggah takes a lot of production in order to make everything fit together. So I think Meshuggah is a fantastic example of quality production for heavy music, and we will get into why that is as we get into the song. So here we go. Yeah, I think that's all we got for expectations. Let's do this. So, all right. So right off the bat, there's a couple of things going on here. First off, we have, it just kind of jumps right in your face. So like it's an effective production technique. It's effective songwriting technique, I guess is probably more appropriate, that a lot of bands do with opening tracks. I haven't taken a look at the Immutable track listing, so I don't know if that's the case, if the Abysmal Eye is the opening track, but if it is, that's a very effective way to start a record. But we're going to go back a little bit. Listen to the kick drum on this. I don't know how well it's going to translate through the video, but you can hear, this is the first time I've ever really noticed this in a Meshuggah recording. You can very literally hear the impact, not just the tone of the kick drum, but you can hear the impact of the hammer onto the head of the drum. Like you can hear that thump before you actually hear the tone. So that's, I don't know if they did that on purpose, but I think it's a really interesting way to deal with the transients on the kick drum. It helps kind of punctuate a little bit more. The other thing that has always been kind of a strange issue with me on Meshuggah recordings is while most things do layer in very well, I feel like they are they are kind of kings of the rock bass syndrome because they play those 8-string guitars and because they play so fast and aggressively, the bass will oftentimes get lost in the mix, very literally. So we're good. Again, listen for bass, listen to the kick drum, and see just the really interesting way they do that. Like the kick drum thing is almost like it's a higher frequency to hear that impact. Wow, that is a 4/4 time signature, something Meshuggah does not do often. 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Wow. So when a band like Meshuggah does a 4/4 time signature, it's almost like they're trying to point you in a direction. Like they're saying, this is an important part, listen to it. So very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so as far as layering goes, speaking, since that's been the conversation for this, listen to the atmospheric way that they do their lead guitars. Even solos with Meshuggah feel very atmospheric. The way they have this layered in here almost could be a synth and not a guitar. I'm pretty sure this is the lead section that you're hearing kind of folded underneath the rhythm section, which most bands, I would say, you would produce it the opposite direction, where the lead would sit on top of the instrument mix and then the vocal would sit on the lead, and then rhythm or drums would be right underneath the lead, and then the rhythm, guitar, and bass would be below that as far as the mix goes, generally speaking, for like a verse section and such. That's not what they do here. They have the lead folded in, so it's kind of buried in the mix, which makes it, again, feel much more atmospheric than it would otherwise. So So the last measure changes time. Oh, and that is a fun situation going on there with the times. And that almost feels the same, but it's not for 4. So here we go. Here's a proper solo. But they do a couple of things to solos that makes them, that is what gives them that kind of bigger feel. There's definitely a reverb on there. And then again, when you mix it, when you fold it in a little bit differently the way they do, it makes it part of the picture and not the focus of the picture, if that makes any sense. Like, this is definitely a little bit more traditional on the mix side of things because it is sitting more on top. But honestly, you still got a lot of presence from the rhythm section that other bands would not be as comfortable doing because they're not as crazy different to the two parts. So, yeah. So what they're doing with the rhythm section underneath this solo is what is rhythm displacement. So the accents of the riff that they're playing, so those held notes, are in a different beat each measure, but the phrasing still comes out to 4/4. So once you get to the end of the phrase, if you're counting 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, you're always going to, once they hit the end of whatever length of that phrase is, you're always going to sync back up for a measure. Rhythm displacement is one of the things Meshuggah does very well, and is also one of the things that makes people think that they always write in crazy time signatures. They don't always write in crazy time signatures. They do a lot, but it's not constant, I guess is the point. But it's a lot of fun to listen to either way. All right, so let's see if we can go back and count this. Oops, too far. Gotta find the trick is to get in sync with the drums, and that takes a little bit of doing sometimes. 1 2 3 4, there it is. 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Come on, 2 3 4. Yep. 4/4 throughout that. That was really fun though. That was a whole lot of displacement. It felt like the cycle was every third measures when we got back in sync. I would have to go back and count a whole different thing to figure that out exactly, but that's what it felt like. Oh. Is that a Meshuggah breakdown? Oh. Oh, that is awesome. That is a groove. I would go back and count it, but I'm not going to count the entire song. But God, that is... I think that's another 4/4 section, though. But like, it's not required. You don't have to do 4/4 for groove, as Meshuggah has shown us plenty of times before. But they're also now showing us 4/4 is a great way to groove if you can write something crazy. So yeah. 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 That's pretty awesome. um Oof, that is a lot of fun. I cannot wait for the new Meshuggah record. It is going to be fantastic. Like, just without doubt, that is the way it's going to be. So, yeah, that's Meshuggah.